In this video, I'm going to show you my best strategies that took my sales page build in Kajabi from 60 hours down to 1 hour. If that's something that interests you, then let's get started. Hey, it's Erika from Gold Coast Creative. Sales page builds used to take me 60 hours. And here's the thing, if you're like, that's ridiculous, it's because I'm a web designer. So details really matter to me. And so designing for mobile, designing the typography, designing the layout, picking all the image, making everything strategic and conversion ready, that takes a long time. And then you add in all of the text, all of the content, wanting that to be on point, relatable, yet really communicating the value you have to offer someone. It can add up. So here's the step-by-step strategies I use now to build out new sales pages that save me a ton of time. All right, let's jump in. All right, so you will want to click the link in the description to get started. It will either bring you to this landing page or to this one. And honestly, they lead to the same exact download. I'm just being indecisive and don't know which one I will have linked at this point. But if it will look like this or the other one, you will know you're in the right place. Once you put in your name and email, you will get access to this very awesome PDF that I created for you. Once you open it, you will see kind of what it covers. I have a little note, and then this will go through the checklist of exactly what we're going to do together. That is also covered in this video, so it will be super obvious. You just want to click on this link. That will lead you to ChatGPT. To be able to use this, as far as I know, you need to have a paid account. You can use ChatGPT for free, but it is, as of this video recording, $20 a month. I would highly suggest it. It's just saving me so much time that $20 is such a high value, even if you just use it for this. So you'll want to do that to be able to access this. I'm so sorry. I wish there was another way I could just give it to you. But to use this, you'll want to have a ChatGPT account, and it will be a paid account. Next, you'll just want to log in. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, here we are. After clicking the link, you will see this page, and all you need to do to start is write something like, "Let's get started." Here it will lead you through asking questions about your product. The reason for this is as much personal and accurate details that you can give it, the better the copy it will write and the more accurate copy that it will write. So think of it like sitting down with a copywriter who's like, tell me about what you want me to write today, and I will write it for you. So this is the point to be able to do that. All right, so first one, product type. The one that I am going to do for this example is going to be a made-up course on how to make sourdough. I personally have no idea how to make sourdough, but I think it would be a fun example. A lot of my friends know how to make beautiful sourdough, so I'm going to pretend that is what we are creating. So I'm going to say that this is a course. 2, I need help creating a title. If you need help creating a title, say yes here. I'm going to say no. 3, I'm going to say the name of this is The Art of Sourdough. 4, what is my preferred tone? So if you don't know the preferred tone for your copy, in the PDF that I created for you, I have some amazing tone words for you to look at and use, and they're all kind of grouped together by category. Check those out. If you can choose between 2 and 4, I find that to be really effective. For this one, I am going to do relatable, friendly, clever, funny. Okay, just a note in case you haven't used ChatGPT before, if you press return, it will enter it. You can do shift return if you want a new space, but I am trying to write all of this copy in this little section without pressing just return. All right, so we are on 5. Formatting doesn't really matter as much. What background information should I know about your product? So here you could share a bullet list, a URL to a page you've created, or a Word doc and upload that. It does not have to be complete sentences. For this, I'm just going to make it up and say that this is a sourdough bread making course. I won't read the whole thing out loud. All right, so really quick, this is a sourdough bread making course that teaches you all the tips and tricks on how to create beautiful sourdough bread while fitting it into a busy life schedule and without feeling overwhelmed. All right, so number 6. What are some of your audience's key struggles and pain points? Here's another place to get really specific because that really helps the copy become more human and relatable. So for me, I'm just thinking of what is overwhelming for me, jumping into sourdough bread making. So I'm going to say that it's overwhelming and that they assume it's too difficult. They don't know where to begin. They're afraid that sourdough in particular will take up way too much time in their lives. And they're not sure if it's really a sustainable activity since you have to keep the starter alive and everything. So I'm going to write that here. All right, number 7, what should I know about you to personalize the sales copy? So here you could do copy and paste from your about page. That would make it super simple and easy. You can do bullets. Here, I am just going to tell the story of how I got into sourdough bread making. Because I don't have my own story, I am going to use one of my best friend's stories of how she got into sourdough bread making. She did this in a season of life where she just had her first child. Her husband had shoulder surgery, and it kind of ended up being like a therapeutic hobby to take on. To me, it sounds extremely overwhelming, but addresses a lot of my audience concerns. And this gives you an example of the type of personal details that really help make this copy come alive. All right, that one is longer because, again, I wanted to stuff in as many details as possible to get it as specific as possible. So number 8, how many modules are in your offer and what is the goal of each? So this would be if you have a course that has 6 modules or 4 modules, and just giving a quick overview of the title of it or what it's about to be able to have ChatGPT write that copy and that summary for you. And if you need any help with this, you could say, I don't have module titles. Can you help me with this? And it will work on that with you. But here's where you explain what your course is in the structure of your course or your program or your membership. All right, so my course has 4 modules, and these are the titles of them. If you need help coming up with bonus ideas, just say that now. Otherwise, list your bonuses. So for this, I'm going to do a sourdough starter kit guide. And then lastly, if you have a fast action bonus or a limited time bonus for people that are early bird signups or pay in full or anything like that, you would want to list this here. If you need help coming up with ideas, you can also say that, and that will help you come up with ideas of what to choose. For this, I'm going to do a Q&A, obviously pretend, for the first 20 signups. All right, and we have finally added all of our background and information. We can just press enter and see what comes next. All right, so as it says here, you can choose which one you like best. You can ask it to combine it. And here's the secret behind getting good writing when using AI like ChatGPT, is you can talk back to it and give it feedback so it can write and change things according to what you like or don't like. So I'm going to read it real quick. And I like option 1, so I'm going to do that. And then tell it to continue. Awesome. I like what it's writing, so I'm just going to continue for the next one. All right, I actually like what it's coming up with, so I'm going to choose the option I like and continue on. All right, just for teaching's sake, I'm going to say that I don't like the phrase gain confidence in the kitchen. So I'm going to have it just redo that section and say, can you give me some more options for the gain confidence in the kitchen with more details or specifics that are relatable to my reader? So I'm just telling it the problem of like what I don't like. I don't like that confidence in the kitchen is just too general. Yeah, I'm liking what it does with option 3. But if you don't, you can keep reworking it. You can pause and do what you need to do to make the copy what you like yourself. All right, now it's moving into the module content because this is all the same. I'm going to speed this up, but I do want to show you how you can improve some of the copy before I do that. And so I'm going to show you that in my PDF, I have some bonus prompts that you can use if you want to try them out. Each one's going to give you different results. Honestly, I use these just in general with writing with ChatGPT, so I'm not always sure how it's going to work out in the different scenarios that you're trying it in. But I have gotten some amazing writing from it. So if you want to vary your tone or vary the style of it, this is a great way to do that. And I just want to show you, these are my very secret, most favorite prompts, and I'll show you how it works. So the first one, for example, please use a hilarious pop culture reference as appropriate to this copy. And then you just choose the option that you like best and have it rewrite it with that prompt. I'm going to use the second one. Please use one or two, and then you tell it what pop culture reference to use. So I'm going to use the Great British Baking Show. I want it to use one because it's not very long, and I'm going to choose the one that I like here. I'm just going to say it is this one, and that's where I'm going to put what it wrote, and then see what it gives me. So I love this. It just adds more life. It adds a little bit of diversity, and it really is a way to connect with your audience. If they are the type of audience that would watch a certain show or have a certain relatable moment, it just gives it more personality in that way. So another great example that is not based off a TV show is you can see something like, rewrite the sales copy with a fun, relatable, and conversational tone as if you were chatting with a friend over coffee. Make it feel light and friendly, but still persuasive. So things like that can help create stronger copy. From now on, I'm just going to speed through this so you don't have to watch me do the whole thing because it's just repeated from here where you rework it, you add any of the prompts that you need, you tell it what you like, and just press continue. Here you can tell it the actual prices if you want to, or you can keep moving on if you want to just add that part in yourself. And at the end, you can just say, yes, polish it up in a draft for me. All right, now you can actually download it as a PDF and have it all together. Or you can copy this and put it in a Google Doc or anything if you want to edit it yourself anymore. In the next part of the video, you'll see that I am grabbing it out of a Google Doc, but honestly, the PDF might be even more simple. Now we're going to jump into creating our sales page. This can be done however you prefer, but I'm going to walk you through how I would do this in Kajabi, and I am going to jump in using one of my own templates that I've designed because it will just make it go a lot faster and speed up giving it a high-end design without me having to do it all from scratch. So here I am in the back end of Kajabi. I'm going to go to the website tab, the landing pages, and I'm going to click upload template. Obviously, you can use a free template if you prefer. Here's the next steps that I will walk through for my templates. If I were to purchase, I would get access to this page, and here's where I download the files for my template. It might also in the future be something that is directly emailed. All right, now I have that file downloaded. I literally just drag and drop the file here. Keep it zipped. And you can see that it's now loading into my theme. And this is a new template I've been working on called Declare. It is almost ready, not quite, but I thought it would be fun to use and jump into and test out. So before jumping into adding everything in here, I personally like to add the images and the brand colors first, because then I can see as I'm editing the text how they play together and see it kind of from a customer's perspective, because the customer is not going to separate out the text from the images. They're going to see it all as one experience. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I will definitely speed it up so that you don't have to be bored in, so that you don't have to watch me do all of that. And you may have noticed I left this image. The images that are parts of the template are royalty free and included. So if there are images that you're like, yeah, that looks good, I don't need to take the time to find something else, that's one of the benefits. So I'm going to keep this one. All right, as you can see, I've added in the images that I want for our sales page. And now I am going to go ahead and add in my brand colors. All right, you can tell I didn't go crazy on changing the color palette on this one, just to keep it simple. Here's how things are looking now, and let's finish up by putting in all of our sales page script, making sure that it works, editing as needed, and we are then done and ready to launch. So here I have my results, and then I'm just gonna literally copy and paste into my sales page. I personally like to, when I'm editing in Kajabi, edit while keeping the first and last letter so that it keeps the styling and doesn't mess with any of this code that's happening in the back. It's just an easy way to keep it a paragraph at an H2, that sort of thing. And I'm just checking here how it's looking. I think I'm gonna do, I forget what it's called, but you basically shift return to make this go on another line. This is just getting deep into aesthetics and web design and the internal workings of my own brain, which probably does not matter to you. But if you want my tips and tricks, as a designer, those are the things that I'd be looking for, is italicizing the words that I both want to bring out to the reader as important and emphasize, but also gives me what's a good balance for the page and where your eye is being led. Awesome, I'm liking the way this is looking right here. You can see how it's all coming together, and I'm just gonna continue going through piece by piece. If there's anything that's odd or that I think would be a sticking point that I will point out, I will pause and let you know, but otherwise I'm just gonna crank. So sometimes in the way that I set up this stack prompt, the name of the module is a little bit longer than you want. So I could either jump into here and instead of module 1, putting part of that course in this and breaking it up into 2 lines, or you can just edit it and create something very simple as the name of that module. So a great example is tools and timing, setting yourself up for sourdough success. I could either do tools and timing, or just keep that module 1. And then here I'm gonna do setting up for success. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. So building the heart. For this one, I wanna put that here. Except I like it in caps lock, so I'm going to use this little trick to keep the color in, building the heart, delete these, and then I think this one is called and you know what, for this specific one, I'm actually liking this all italics, and so for me, I'm just gonna italics everything in this header section. And the way I set up that prompt stack too is they should all be about the same length as the ipsum lorem that's currently in there, so you can hopefully find that it fits pretty well.
Okay, if it's ever changing the paragraph font when I'm doing my little trick, I will sometimes just go into the back, find where it's at, and replace it. Sometimes it's a lot faster for me to just work in the source code, but I'm trying to withhold myself from doing that, since if you're following along, that might feel uncomfortable if you're not used to that. So another little design trick when you are making your own sales pages is breaking up paragraphs that are a little bit longer, even though this technically is not that much text, into 2 paragraphs, and then also bolding or italicizing things to help people skim and see what's important, but it also helps it feel, as weird as this is, like less text, because it allows your eye to see where to focus. All right, you might have more questions, which of course you can then duplicate these if you want to add more questions. I actually am going to have less questions, so I am going to hide the ones that I don't need. And then I'm going to save. And I'm going to copy over this section. So to do this, I'm just going to go to the back end, copy over this whole thing because it's the exact same. This is just going to save me some time. All right, and then obviously, if this was your real sales page, you would want to then hook those calls to action to real URLs and make sure that everything is linked up properly. But in terms of design and getting pretty close to launch, I think we're there. So let's check it out. Okay, so here is our finished sales page. I am stoked on how it's turned out, and I can only imagine how long this would take to write all on my own. And there we go. Everything to write your sales page copy using ChatGPT while keeping your brand voice and bringing life to it. I hope you've enjoyed this course. I hope that it helps make your sales page writing so much faster and so much easier, and helps you deliver awesome results to your clients and customers.
All right, a quick recap. We just went over how to build your sales page copy and took it down from 60 hours, at least for me, down to about an hour by duplicating my ChatGPT prompt stack, editing those details for your product and your brand's personal tone, and then taking all of that polished copy and putting it into Kajabi landing page so that it is beautiful and ready to sell. If you liked this video, then you will love my video on the lead magnet funnel setup, where I walk you through exactly how I created that freebie landing page where you grabbed that ChatGPT prompts, and how I set it up so by the time they get to your sales page, they'll be ready to read the words you just wrote. All right, thanks for watching this video and hanging out with me today. I will see you in the next one.